There is no guarantee for success, but there are ways to get closer to it when you do the right things. Who you surround yourself with is just as important as what you do. Finding the right people, the right classes, the right activities, and taking the right tests are all decisions that shape your future. Find out more today on Destination University with Dr. Cynthia Colon. Dr. Colon and her guests will give you the tips you need, whether you're a student, parent, or educator. Now, here is your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to 30 Teens, 30 Dreams. I'm your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon. This is a special series for Destination University, a podcast that you can get anywhere you get your podcasts. If you are a teen, a college-bound teen, or a champion of one, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. This month, we are celebrating one teen every single day of the month of April to celebrate their college admission journey, the bravery and the courage that it takes to get through this journey, and they will share with you where they are headed to college this fall. Today, we're going to meet Andrew, who hails from New Jersey. I won't tell you all the secrets. He's going to share himself, but you see here, he's been admitted to a number of different colleges. He's the golf team captain. He wants to major in business, and he's earned some merit dollars. So before we get to Andrew, I want to give you a hot tip from the College Board, collegeboard.org, or specifically calling all juniors, class of 2023. I want you to go to bigfuture.org. Why? It's the place that you can go to get your plan started. It's easy, it's free, it's mobile friendly. And for all juniors who start building their list with 6 colleges or more, you are eligible for scholarships. Every single month, College Board is giving away 2 $40,000 scholarships and hundreds of $500 scholarships every single month, actually until early in 2023. So you don't want to miss that. Go to collegeboard.org, or specifically you can go to bigfuture.org and get your list started today. And just like that, Andrew and I met Andrew, did we meet when you were a sophomore going to junior year or junior year going into senior?
I think it was sophomore going into junior year. It was a long time ago. A few years ago now.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, here we go. We're going to meet Andrew. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to make sure that you get to see his shiny, beautiful face here. So let's do it. Andrew, it's so good to see you again. It has been a while since we last saw each other, and thanks for being here today to share your pearls of wisdom with everyone. How are you doing today?
Great. I actually just got home. I had a golf practice, and this is the first thing I got. I hopped right on the call, so I'm doing great.
All right, excellent. Well, I have a few questions for you, and it's really just to share with everybody, how your journey was. And so I'm going to start with share with everyone, sort of give us a sense of where you applied and how you made that decision of where you were going to apply.
Well, I think my big thing is I wanted to stay relatively local, right? So I live in New Jersey. So I think the furthest I was willing to go north was probably the Boston, Massachusetts area. And I probably didn't want to go any further south than Washington, D.C. I didn't end up applying in Washington, D.C., but it was a good about 6-hour parameter. I thought that was best for me. So I applied to a lot of local schools pretty much. I think the furthest one north I applied to was Babson College, and first one south was Philadelphia. So it was really important to me to stay pretty local.
When did you start building that list? Was it beginning of junior year, or when did you really start even sort of casting a wide net?
Well, I think you have to start thinking about the broad scheme of things around sophomore year. I think I started thinking about what I wanted out of college more than the specific schools around sophomore year. I wanted to say where I wanted to go, what area I wanted to stay in, what type of school you wanted. You can get into specific schools I think later, but I think it's important, like I did earlier, to think of more of the broad sense of what you want out of college, I guess.
Oh, that's such a good piece of advice. And I feel with Dream College Academy, I think that was module 4, we sort of talk about how do you build your list, what are you looking for, things like that. So you're right. That's very true.
I think I started specific schools, I would say, beginning of junior year, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great. And your major specifically is business. And so I think you were looking for schools that had business. And so sort of to that point, how did you know? Because so many people think, how am I going to narrow it down? I don't know what I want to major, and I'm still, 15, 16 years old. But what prompted you, or why is business the right major for you?
I think I've taken a lot of classes in school, and my school is a really good business department. I think it's like one of the best in the state. So I took a lot of classes in school. I really enjoyed it, and I knew from pretty early on in high school that's what I wanted to do. And as far as like searching for colleges, I just wanted to find schools that really like that had like a separate school, like really focused on it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really important. And I also wanted to find schools that like I guess I was more focused on the type of business education I was getting at the school rather than like the maybe like the dorms or stuff like that. Like that was like my main focus was like what kind of education I'm getting in my major.
Oh, that's another people, if you're listening or watching, that's a great golden nugget for Andrew. What he's saying is one of the most important pieces was really specifically the major, the education, and all that. So for some others, it might be the social life. It might be, the food. Sometimes it's the food and the dormitories and living. So every student is different in terms of what is most important for them. Obviously, all of those things are important, but in terms of ranking them accordingly. Okay. Well, I want to ask you two things, which is I want to ask you what you think you did right, what you would do all over again. And then I'm going to ask you if there's any regret you have, something that you would do differently. And I ask this because I think that most teenagers do have something to share with people coming behind you that, looking back, you would have done differently. So go ahead, tell us first what you did right.
Okay, I think what I did right is I think I just cast a really wide net. Like I just like spent time with the computer, just really like looking at different schools and looking to what fit and making sure I didn't leave any stone unturned in my area of the country. And I think that's something that really worked because I got a great list of schools that I was comfortable going to almost all of them really. And like I just casting a wide net, I think. It's just like making sure that you're not gonna like say like once you get in college, oh I wish I had looked at there, oh I wish I applied there, oh why didn't I look at that? Like just making sure that you're just like working really hard at it.
Yes. Again, I think that you're really honing in on like the list is key. The list is of where you apply, because you don't want to look back and regret either not applying somewhere or not applying to a wide variety of schools, because ultimately you want to have choices. So good. Now, what little advice might you give to others that you wish you would have done? Is there anything you wish you would have done slightly differently?
So this is actually kind of almost preemptive to college, the decision and looking at schools, college search. I wish I earlier in my high school career, like took a little bit more challenging classes and pushed myself a little more, because I think that my high school went on, I got better and better grades and better classes, but I feel like my class rank almost took a hurt because like these kids are so crazy that they go into high school and they're like I just wish I would have pushed myself further with harder classes earlier in high school, because I feel like I waited until junior and senior year to do that. And I thought that maybe I could have gotten into more reach schools if I didn't.
Was there anything that prevented you, or looking back, I mean, hindsight, sometimes it's 2020. So why didn't you? Was there something that you just thought, no, I don't want to do that, I think it's going to be too hard? Or what might you say to someone who is a sophomore?
I think I always knew that I definitely could do it. I just always it's very like safe and comfortable to do a class that you're going to get like a really good grade in no matter what. And it feels good but it's not always the best thing to do, I think that like I knew that I can do it because I proved myself right now. But I think it's really easy to say, I'm going to go in this class and I'm going to get a 99 in every single thing in this class. And it's going to look good in my grade book, but maybe compared to the other kids in the school, and just like personal goals, they could have been a little better.
Okay. Well, there you have it. He's being very candid with everybody, so I appreciate that. Okay, so I have two other questions before we get to your drum roll, please. But I'm curious to know, because there's the testing right now is test optional almost everywhere. And so one thing I think people are curious about right now is, did you submit test scores? Did you not? Any advice or anything about that? So go ahead and share that.
That was a big one with me. I think that it's so important to know which schools to send your test scores to and which ones you couldn't. Because like the school that I'm going to going to, Rutgers Business School, it's like the average SAT score is actually higher than what I got on my SAT. And it was really important to me because I had my rest of my resume for application resume was really good. I thought it was as good as a lot of other people, like the top people, but my SAT score is a little lower. So I think it's really, really, really important to decide which schools you send it to, because some schools it makes you look really good, and some schools it makes you seem, it may turn some people off. So I think that when test scores are optional, it can be used really as an asset to help you get into schools that you might have not gotten into in a normal year.
And did you take the SAT or ACT?
I took both. The SAT score is better for me. The ACT I thought was a little too like quick and fast paced.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, there you have it. And is there any one tip or resource or something that you used in the process that would be helpful for others to know? Some, a website, a college app, or anything like that that you would offer?
I think our school pushes that we use, I think it's Naviance. That's a big one because you can like easily compare both schools. Like you can look at like scatter plots and stuff like that, and where like your own information lines up to the rest of schools. So that was important in terms of kind of like weighing like pros and cons and like what school has and which schools don't have.
Yeah. There are a lot of schools that have Naviance, and you're right. You can compare yourself to other students within your school who have been who have applied to those schools previous to you. So yeah, so Naviance is good. Okay, that's a good tip. Awesome. Okay, so you gave away the goodies just a second ago. If you didn't catch that, you mentioned where he's going. But share with us. It's on your little card here. I'll show it in a minute. But share with us where you've been admitted and how you decided where you're going, and then we'll say hello to our guest of honor, your mother, in just a second.
Okay, so I was admitted to Rutgers, St. John's University, St. Joe's University, Drew University, Bentley University, and Ramapo College.
And how did you decide? So you said, so go ahead, you say it. Where did you decide, and how did you decide?
I'm going to go to Rutgers, New Brunswick, which is the main campus. And I'm going to be going to the business school there, which is, they have a really good one. So, and I decided on it. It was always like really like my far and away top choice. Because I kind of, both my parents went to Rutgers. I have grandparents who went to Rutgers. I even had great grandparents who went to Rutgers. So it was always like, it was always my top, like there's no other way to put it. But, and I actually originally got deferred to regular decision because I applied early action. Mm-hmm. And then I got in and I just knew that I was going. If the money was good, and I went. But it was like, it lined up perfectly for me because it was, I love Rutgers. I go to Rutgers sports games. I live 45 minutes away. And it had a great business program, which is something I also wanted. So it was really like the perfect fit for me.
Oh my gosh, Andrew and Mom, just go ahead and join on in if you want to right now. Okay, maybe I forgot, but I don't think I knew that you were deferred and then rolled into regular. Okay, this is actually a really good golden nugget. So you must have felt, a little devastated maybe. And how did you just keep your chin up and just kind of keep your hopes alive? Because it doesn't happen always. Sometimes you get deferred and then you ultimately get either waitlisted or denied. But it worked out for you. And anyway, just share with us what you went through when the defer came in.
Okay, so it was actually an interesting situation because I got into the normal Rutgers New Brunswick school originally right away, but I got deferred to business school, and it ended up being like really. Is it getting laggy or am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, it ended up getting it was really competitive. I found out that it was like they're accepting less than 20% of the people, And so, I mean, I felt really bad when it happened, to be honest, but I knew that it wasn't, it almost seemed unavoidable almost. Like once I figure out the statistic and almost like, oh, okay, then I guess that makes sense. But I think you just have to, you have to accept that school might not be a possibility, but you also, you can keep your hopes alive because it happens. I mean, you see with me.
Oh.
But I think you have to start to prepare for other schools, but it's also important to realize that you can still get in, you can still work out for you.
Oh my gosh. Oh, what a great story. I love that. Oh my gosh. Mom, hello.
Hi.
Congratulations. And just, why don't you just share with your son what you're feeling right now and everything.
Super proud, super proud. I mean, as Andrew said, he will be 4th generation Scarlet Knight. He's got aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, great grandparents. Since he's been a baby, he's been going to Rutgers football games. So it's always been something that he's grown up loving, and to see him kind of have this long-term dream and have it turn out for him. You know, not every kid is destined nor wants to go to Harvard. Andrew wants to go to his state flagship school. It's got a great program. He set his eye on the prize and he made it happen. I'm really, really proud of him.
Ah, so good. What a great story. I just, my goddaughter, you know, we hope she goes to USC, but you know, you don't know. It's not necessarily going to happen. It doesn't always happen. So for you, it did. You're a legacy, your 4th generation legacy, and everyone is so proud of you, Andrew. Well, it's honestly been a great honor to know you and have been a small part of your journey since your sophomore year. I can't even believe it's been that long. So super congratulations. Let's hold on. I'm going to wrap up this podcast, and then we'll all say goodbye before we sign off. Okay. All right. Hang on one second. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, so good, you guys. Well, there you have it. Here you see Andrew and all his glory. We couldn't be prouder. If this episode has in any way fueled your confidence or helped build your dreams, please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes. Again, if you do nothing else today, I would say 2 things. Go to bigfuture.org and get signed up, especially if you're a junior. And if you've been following me or want to follow more, join us on Facebook, our Facebook group known as Destination University, just like the podcast. And university is spelled with a Y-O-U because the destination is not university. The destination is, in fact, you. And you can join the essay bootcamp that will be this summer for all rising seniors, and those who are rockstar rising juniors, you can join us too. So go to my website, drcynthiacolon.com/essay camp to learn more. Thank you, everyone. 30 Teens, 30 Dreams continues throughout the month of April, where we reveal one student every day, their success story, their journey, their trials and tribulations, and where they're headed to college. So with that, let's all wave goodbye. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Mom. Oh my goodness. So excited.
Thank you so much for listening this week to Destination University. Be sure to join Dr. Cynthia Colon again and get one step closer to your success.